story, but unfortunately,
the moon again, right?
I only find a way of finding
They might, whatever the narrative is, whatever the truth is, at the end.
Hello again, it's Martin North from Digital Finance Analytics, where I'm the disposed covering finance and prop news. It may be a holiday, but Edwin and I are back for another rant. Edwin, nice to see you again.
Likewise, Martin, good to see you. But I just want to let you know, I got some bad news. The Easter egg tree did not produce this year. It's like the spaghetti bush didn't produce last year and nor this year again. It's climate change, Martin, climate change.
Yeah, well, I couldn't find any Easter bunnies, nor indeed eggs anywhere. So it's pretty bad. In fact, I cannot feeling it's the best of times and the worst of times. You know, we're listening to those 4 people in a spacecraft in a small tin can going closer to the moon and thinking, wow, you know, this is amazing technology. Look at what we can do. And then I look at what's going on with Trump and the Middle East and everything, and I'm thinking, shit, I don't know. The point, of course, is that it's all the part of the same world story, but unfortunately, we have a few people, I think, creating mayhem. But it is, I think, worth just celebrating the technology achievement of getting people back towards the moon again. And meantime, if we could only find a way of finding some eggs and Easter bunnies, I would be very happy.
Look, Martin, you know, they're telling us to go to the moon again, right? So when was the last time they went to the moon? In the 50s, late 50s, and then we're going to the moon again, right? There's this fuel shortage, and they also told us that lockdowns were for our health and safety. So, well, now they're telling us that there's a fuel shortage, Martin. Come on, look at all these, the snaps I sent you of. Well, what can somebody tell these people that are out on the roads that there's a fuel shortage? I mean, what's reality? What's the truth?
Yeah, what is truth? Well, it's worth, of course, highlighting that Albo was very clear before the Easter holidays, you know, buy what you need, you know, supply's okay, everything's going to be good, despite the fact that there are some questions ahead. But it is interesting. I've had a few pieces of feedback from around the place. One, for example, saying, well, actually, there seems to be more boats floating around Australia with incoming fuel than people might expect, bearing in mind, of course, it takes some time for the boats to arrive from the Middle East. And then the second question is, of course, we've got now Albo saying, don't panic, don't panic. I've been talking to Singapore, I've been talking to Korea, I've been talking to Japan, and they've said, yeah, that's fine. We're going to continue to provide you with what you need. So, of course, the question will be as to when they can get what they need from the refining input side. So, yeah, I don't know. A lot of smoke and mirrors, I think, Edwin, a lot of noise. But the truth is, of course, that people have found it difficult to find stocks when they need them sometimes, particularly diesel.
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, Martin, whatever the narrative is, whatever the truth is, at the end of the day, it spooked a lot of industries and jacked the prices. No matter what the government says from here on out, we were told, we were warned, pre-warned by the WeChat charters as to what was going to happen. That this thing was going to stretch out into prepare. Here we are, and now prices have gone up, materials have gone up, and the cost of construction renovations and anything else in between is as skyrocketing, and those prices won't come back down anytime soon. I mean, we're at the point right now, Martin, where even the WeChat charters, they're no longer burning yuan, because the yuan's almost practically worthless now. So they're not burning yuan, they're burning cardboard or paper houses, because this weekend actually marks the Tomb Sweeping Day festival, and they burn all sorts of things symbolic, that represent symbolic items for the ancestors of past, so that they can have a better life in the aftermath. But I was interested to see when Dusty sent me these images of what they're burning now: iPads, iPhone 5s, mansions, townhouse developments, so they can have a better life. That's like more symbolic of what they want to have in the current life than what is to help their ancestors, because their ancestors are no longer comfortable in just having a simple rest in peace scenario. They need to have all these gadgets as well, just like our societies here. So that was interesting. So it's now we're define what's real now, moving forward, Martin. What's real? What people are saying? How is that going to influence people's perception? And then, as we've been saying for a very, very, very long time, and then emotion gets in the way of reason and logic, and make the wrong decisions, unfortunately. But I guess in light of our discussion for Monday evening, these sort of narratives, these sort of stories, these sort of windmills, whatever you can call it, whatever you want to call it, all they create is panic, and prices skyrocket. Those prices don't come back to to where they were 2 years, 3 years, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. They just stay at those levels, and the normal folk need to climb a lot harder to get to achieve the wealth that they once was attainable. But now they're to the point where now, as I said, even the WeChat chatterers are burning paper mansions in order to is it more symbolic as to what their ancestors need?